is Smart Consulting Sourcing, the only podcast about consulting procurement or how to buy consulting services. You'll get tips on how to use consulting, buy consulting, and managing the consulting. And now your host, Ellen Lafitte.
Welcome back to Smart Consulting Sourcing, the ideal podcast for insights into the world of consulting procurement. My name is Elaine, and I'm your host. And today we'll be navigating into the dynamics of direct and indirect procurement. So we will look at the key differences, the impact, and how you can make most use of both procurement types. But before we do that, let us take a brief stroll down memory lane and recap what we talked about on last week's episode, which was all about understanding direct and indirect procurement. So direct and indirect procurement play pivotal roles in shaping business success. Direct procurement involves sourcing raw materials and services directly contributing to a company products, emphasizing quality, cost, and strategic partnerships. In contrast, indirect procurement focuses on acquiring goods and services, supporting business operations, extending beyond the product itself. So indirect procurement is often overlooked, and it encompasses a diverse range of categories such as office supplies, IT services, and of course, consulting. So while not directly tied to the final product, these purchases are essential for smooth business operations, acting as the backbone supporting the entire enterprise. The strategic nature of indirect procurement requires a nuanced approach, emphasizing smart purchasing decisions aligned with overall business goals. And despite its quieter profile, effective management of indirect procurement is deemed vital for organizational success, demanding attention to details and a broader understanding of the business landscape. So indirect procurement is evolving with the digital revolution, and emerging categories like cloud computing, e-payment, SaaS, and digital marketing are reshaping traditional perspectives. And, this transformation presents both challenges and opportunities, of course, and it necessitates a dynamic and informed approach to procurement. So as businesses increasingly embrace remote work and digitalization, cybersecurity becomes a critical concern, highlighting the proactive role of indirect procurement in mitigating risks. And so looking ahead, the integration of AI and machine learning is anticipated to revolutionize indirect procurement processes, enhancing optimizations and efficiencies. Sustainability also takes a center stage as businesses prioritize environmental impact considerations. So the dynamics of procurement are undergoing a significant shift. The strategic importance of both direct and indirect is underscored, urging businesses to adopt informed, adaptive, and forward-thinking strategy to navigate the evolving landscape successfully. So if you're curious to learn more, no worries. Dive into our rich discussions anytime on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And for a deeper dive into the consulting universe, you can check out our website, consultingquest.com. You will discover a wealth of knowledge with our white papers, our ebooks, and podcast transcripts that promise to enlighten and inspire. Don't forget to share those gems with your network and leave us a review. Your feedback fuels our passion to bring you top-tier content continually. Plus, we've got exciting hands-on workshops lined up, covering everything from mastering negotiations to consulting with consulting firms to crafting effective RFPs. So if you're interested to join, reach out to hcl@consultingquest.com and embark on these enriching journeys with us. All right, then, now back to today's episode where I will be talking about the dynamics of direct and indirect procurement. So let's get started. Last week, we explored both direct and indirect procurement. And today, we're going to dive into what sets them apart and why those differences matter. So it's not just about what you're buying, it's about the strategies, the attention, and the resources these two areas require. So first up, strategy. With direct procurement, the strategy is closely tied to the company's core products and services. It's all about finding the right quality at the right price to produce something that stands out in the market. So the focus is on building strong, long-term relationships with suppliers that are almost like partnerships. Indirect procurement, on the other hand, has a different strategic flavor. Traditionally, the focus here has been on cost control and efficiency. And this is because these purchases like office supplies and janitorial services, for instance, don't directly impact the product. However, it's a mistake to overlook the strategic importance of some types of indirect procurement, especially services like consulting. So let's take a deeper look at this. Well, it's true that not all indirect procurement categories directly affect your company's valuation or product quality. Some, like consulting, play a pivotal role in shaping strategic decisions. Consulting through categorized under indirect procurement can be a game changer. It has the potential to provide insight and strategies and innovations that give your organization a competitive edge. So this brings up to a more modern approach to indirect procurement. It's not just about finding cost-effective solutions, it's also about recognizing and investing in services that can bring significant value. And consulting, in this context, is not just another line item in the budget. It's an investment in the company's futures with the power to transform operations, guide strategic shift, and even redefine market positions. Then there's management attention. So obviously, direct procurement tends to get more of the spotlight because it directly affects the company's final products and therefore its bottom line. So it's a high-stake game where every decision can have a significant impact. Indirect procurement, while equally important, has historically been in the shadow of its direct counterpart in terms of attention and resources. However, there's a shift happening in how businesses perceive and manage indirect procurement. So it's no longer just seen as a cost center, but as a strategic function that can add significant value to the organization. This change in perspective is crucial. In the past, the focus was primarily on achieving cost savings, which, don't get me wrong, is still important. But now forward-thinking companies are looking beyond just savings. They are exploring how indirect procurement can contribute to broader business objectives such as sustainability, innovation, and risk management. So let's go back to consulting. While it falls under direct procurement, its impact on the company can be profound. Investing in high-quality consulting can lead to innovative strategies, improved processes, and ultimately a stronger competitive position in the market. So it's not just about getting more value from every dollar spent. It's about understanding the broader impact of these expenditures on the company's overall health and future. And smart management of indirect procurement now involves making strategic choices that align with the company's long-term goals and vision. Now, resource allocation is another area where we see differences. So historically, direct procurement has been the star of the show, often receiving more dedicated resources. And this makes sense given its direct impact on production and revenue. But what about indirect procurement? So traditionally, indirect procurement might not have been in the limelight, operating more in the background. And while it's true that purchasing office supplies may not be as glamorous as procuring raw materials for project manufacturing, the role of indirect procurement is expanding rapidly. The range of categories encompasses like consulting, IT services, janitorial, and beyond is exploding. And this expansion isn't just about volume, it's about complexity and strategy importance. And as a result, there's a growing need for more senior, experienced professionals in the field of indirect procurement. So we're talking about individuals with a deep understanding of the market dynamics, negotiation skills, and strategic sourcing capabilities. And organizations are starting to recognize the value that a well-managed indirect procurement function can bring. So they're beginning to staff these departments more robustly, looking for people who can bring strategic value beyond just cost savings. However, the shift remains slow and heterogeneous across different industries and companies. These differences significantly influence companies' procurement policies and overall business strategy. So it's not just about categorizing expenses. It's about understanding the role each type of procurement plays in the broader business objectives and allocating attention and resources accountability. And now let's talk perception. So indirect procurement has often been viewed as less strategic, but that's an outdated notion. Today, there's a growing recognition of its importance, and companies increasingly focus on optimizing their indirect procurement processes and recognizing the value it brings to operational efficiency and cost management. And as the business world evolves, so does the role of indirect procurement. It's becoming more strategic, more integrated with overall business goals, and more recognized for contributing to a company's success. So now it's time to shift gears and talk strategy. How can businesses optimize their procurement processes? And what's the key to striking the right balance? It's time to explore this. First off, it's essential to recognize the distinct values of direct and indirect procurement. Direct procurement is the lifeblood of your production line, dealing with materials and services that directly feed into your product. Indirect procurement, though not directly contributing to the product, is the backbone that supports your business operations, ensuring everything runs like a clockwork. But there's a critical angle to consider, moving beyond the traditional view of direct versus indirect procurement. It's about looking at procurement through the lens of strategic versus non-strategic purchases. So this approach recognizes that not all direct categories are strategic, and similarly, not all indirect categories are non-strategic. For example, a raw material crucial for your product might be a strategic direct purchase. And of course, a service like consulting falling into indirect procurement could be equally strategic, offering insights and value that shape your business direction. So how do businesses manage this? One key strategy is developing a holistic procurement approach, considering both strategic and non-strategic purchases. This involves looking at procurement as a strategic function aligned with your business goals, not just a series of transactions. So let's break it down. Start by fostering collaboration between your procurement teams, regardless of whether they're handling direct or indirect categories. Encourage the sharing of insights and strategy, because they may have different focuses, but their ultimate goal is the same: the business success. Investing in technology and data analytics is crucial too, because these tools can offer deep insight into your procurement processes and data, helping you make informed decisions, forecast needs, and spot opportunities and for savings and value creation. And of course, don't overlook supplier relationship. Whether it's a supplier of a strategic direct material or a key indirect service providers, building strong collaborative relationship is vital. And it's not just about negotiating prices, it's about forging partnerships that bring mutual value. Adaptability is another essential element. The business landscape is ever-changing, and your procurement strategies must be agile enough to adapt to market shifts and technological advances. And finally, align your procurement strategies with your broader company goals, be it sustainability, innovation, or customer satisfaction, or whatnot. Ensure that your procurement decisions, whether they're strategic or non-strategic, direct or indirect, support these objectives. And now, if we zoom in specifically on the consulting category, we uncover a powerful lever to enhance the ROI of your projects. It all boils down to aligning your consulting spend with your company's broader strategy. This means investing in the right project directly contributing to the strategic goal. So it's not just about hiring the right consultants, it's about hiring them for the right reasons on the right projects, whether it's driving innovation or spearheading a digital transformation or navigating market shifts. Your consulting investment should be a direct reflection of your strategic priorities. And this alignment is where the true power lies. When your consulting spend is closely tied to your strategic objective, every dollar spent on consulting brings you a step closer to those goals. So it's about making informed strategic choices in your consulting procurement. Choices that propel your business forward in meaningful ways. So let's take an example. Say your company is looking to expand into a new market, investing in consulting services for market analysis anti-strategy, and risk assessment aligns perfectly with this strategic move. So it's not just an expenditure, it's a strategic investment that paves the way for a successful market entry and long-term growth. So as you develop and refine your procurement strategy, especially in areas like consulting, keep this alignment front and center. It's about ensuring that every consulting project you undertake is not just a cost, but a strategic move, one that adds tangible value and drives your business toward its key objective. So concluding our exploration of direct and indirect procurement dynamics, the key takeaway here is their shared strategic importance. Direct procurement focuses on building partnerships to enhance project quality and market presence, while indirect procurement, particularly categories like consulting, is shifting from a cost center to a strategic function. And the evolving perception acknowledges the complexity and strategic significance of indirect procurement, demanding experienced professionals for effective management. And this shift challenges the traditional spotlight on direct procurement, recognizing the expanding role of categories like e-payments or SaaS or cloud computing or consulting within the indirect category. And strategic management of both direct and indirect procurement is crucial for aligning expenditures with long-term business goals. A strategic versus non-strategic approach challenges conventional dichotomies, emphasizing collaboration, technology utilization, robust supplier relationships, and adaptability in a dynamic business landscape. And when you zoom in on consulting, you see its potential as a powerful lever for enhancing project ROI. Aligning consulting spend with overarching business strategies transforms your spend into a strategic investment. And when you craft procurement strategy, you should prioritize alignment, ensure each expenditure is a strategic move contributing tangible value. And as the business landscape evolves, our approach to procurement must adapt, embracing its strategic potential across the entire supply chain. The focus should shift from outdated perceptions to recognizing the strategic importance of both direct and indirect procurement, optimizing processes for sustained business success. So, all right, and that's it for today. Join us next time on Smart Consulting Sourcing. We'll delve into why consulting stands out in indirect procurement, exploring, among other topics, trust, impact, and value. I don't want to spoil anything, but it promises to be an informative discussion, so make sure you don't miss it. Thanks again for joining me on this episode, which was all about direct and indirect procurement. Your thoughts and feedbacks are always welcome, so feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or drop me an email at hcl@consultingquest.com. I'm always up for a chat. Until next time, stay safe and keep up the smart consulting sourcing game. Au revoir for now and happy sourcing.
You've been listening to Smart Consulting Sourcing, the only podcast about consulting procurement. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hit the website at consultingquest.com. Find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. For questions and comments, send an email to ellen.lafitte@consultingquest.com. See you next time.